Dine heads to Toronto, and Rusev and Lana finally make it down the aisle. We are breaking down, sad to say, the mid-season finale of Total Divas. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Did you just make that up, the Dine?
It's been said. That's what the fans called him on the internet.
I would have gone with Reneen.
Reneen? Oh no. They're Dine, and we are AFTERBUZZ TV. This is the Total Divas After Show. We are breaking down Season 6, Episode 10, The Big Day. It is the big mid-season finale. And as sad as I am to say that, it was a great episode. Big cliffhangers at the end, and we're going to be breaking it all down for you. We are live on YouTube. I do have the live chat rolling. You guys, it's been a great season with you, so please continue to comment, give us a thumbs up, and head on over to iTunes and SoundCloud as well. My name is Christy Olson. I insist that you keep up with me while Total Divas is on hiatus. Please follow me at Christy Reports. And joining me tonight for this occasion, from Up Rocks, writer of the Total Divas recaps that we all love so much, which we're still going to read even though we watched the episode. It's at Sundown Motel, Bill Hanstock.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, welcome.
Just what she said. We should have started with Boyz II Men's End of the Road because it's such a somber occasion.
I would have been too upset to go on after
just
that.
tears.
I thought going to the chapel would have been good.
Oh, well, too late now.
But they didn't get married in a chapel, so.
At Jimbo in the booth.
Hi.
Jimbo Frank.
Hi, y'all. Let's talk about divas.
Let's talk about divas and Dine.
Dish the diva dirt.
Dishing. Oh, I like that. I like that. Diva Dirt is one of my favorites. Well, guys, this one opens with Nikki and John, who are reflecting on her injury. We learn that she has a CAT scan coming up, and we get a finisher joke from John Cena. He has a dirty mouth.
boy.
Just always the sex.
Right? One
Painted a
track mind.
penis this season.
Yeah.
Big
What was
penis.
the thing with the? It had basketballs.
It was
on
the
it or something?
oranges.
Oranges.
Yes.
That's what it was.
No,
Oh, John.
it was lemons because when it's the hammer smashing the lemons to
Yeah,
remind you that
that's right.
when
When you have
life gives you
lemon,
lemons.
you gotta make lemonade.
You give us so much of you.
Was I the only one that was like, man, a match against the two of them would really be cool to see them fight each other?
Oh, Nikki and John?
Yeah, when she's like, I want to have a match with you. I want to take your finisher. I was like, man, if this is like Lucha Underground, we could actually see that happen because women are allowed to fight men there.
That's why I love it. I love
Yeah.
intergender
Well, I
matches.
think we might see a match with the two of them, but maybe not against each other.
Ooh.
Stay tuned. Meanwhile, the girls are working out. This is fun to just see them in the gym kind of hanging out. What do they talk about? Well, Lana wants to get an elephant, just like, the rest
As you
of
do,
us.
yeah. Just normal
As you do
stuff.
sometimes.
Who doesn't
Rusev
want an
loves
elephant?
elephants, which she said several times but never really seemed to explain.
No, yeah.
Do elephants have a special appeal to either one of you guys?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, I do like elephants a lot. I mean, I think they're awesome. But not my wife, but the girlfriend I was with before my wife, elephants was like a thing with us. So.
So no elephant photos hanging in your house this time.
But my wife's never gonna watch this.
Is
so
it the
it's
elephant in the room?
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Well, what goes down between Maurice and Lana kind of becomes the elephant in the room because Maurice says, hey, are you aware of how they treat these animals? And this is something we could debate for hours. And it's one of those things that I'm a big proponent of animal rights, and I'm very proud to say I'm vegan, but I also acknowledge that I don't use all vegan makeup products and stuff like that. It's like we all have to just do what we can. And what Maurice chooses to do in this scene is not have a problem with her own leather boots, but to have a problem with this elephant thing. So,
but
each their own.
I don't think we can debate that stateside elephants that are not in like an animal preserve or a zoo or a very humane zoo are treated horribly. Like that's not really up for debate.
Right.
Like,
Certainly.
Yeah. But I mean, like anyone who's not like hardline ethical vegan, like would like there's a sliding scale for everyone on like I'm okay with that, but not a dog. Like there's a sliding scale for everyone. But I admire and I respect the people who are hardline about everything, and I think that that's very admirable. And obviously, they have stronger wills and firmer moral imperatives than I do. But I do. I mean, I absolutely I don't think that there's a problem with like getting completely outraged about like someone wanting to spend $10,000 or $20,000 to like get 2 elephants at their wedding when there's going to be like abused ass elephants just for your own personal amusement because you have the money to get them, as opposed to like I have leather shoes on.
Right.
Like it's a little like from an ethical, from a hard line standpoint, there's no difference. From a Shades of Grey standpoint, there's a massive difference.
Well, and Lana just didn't really seem to be aware of it. It wasn't like she was like, I don't care.
Right. No, she was thinking like, oh no, we just get elephants. I call the guy, he brings the elephants.
I got an elephant guy.
Yeah.
He'll bring you an elephant right now.
I can get you a toe, dude. I can get you a toe.
With polish.
I thought it was... I'm for it if it's what you really want. Like when Dana Brooke's like, you do what you want. Like, this is your wedding, this is your day. Do what you want. But I think it was a blessing in disguise because just imagine when you're at the zoo how elephants smell. And at a wedding, 2 elephants just dropping bombs at your wedding. Yeah. Imagine that.
Funny that that point never came up.
That's where I was thinking.
No,
I was just like,
zoo, I've seen an elephant go to the bathroom. It's something you don't unsee.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. Those are the videos you should have sent her.
Yeah, that's what you want this on your white wedding day? Right? You know, have fun. Well, enjoy the circus.
We mentioned Dean. We're calling Dean and Renee, and they are headed to Toronto. Ambrung? Oh, that would work too. That would work. Well, they're headed to Toronto. It's Renee's birthday week, and she's concerned, what is the family going to think about Dean? But it sounds like they've met him a few times already, and that maybe this isn't quite as intense as Renee is really taking on some stress from this situation.
Also, the idea that, like, this is what Renee Young does for a living, and they haven't watched, like, a single episode. Like, which one's your boyfriend? It's not important.
Well, she made it sound like because of the character they've seen on TV.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
That they were.
And it turns out that there is no difference.
Yeah,
right?
He's a lot funnier.
Yeah.
We did see all that. Well, what's going on with Naomi? She's talking to a reporter backstage, and she talks about being concerned that she's going to get split up from John in this brand split. Now, we've been hearing about the brand split all season. It went down last July. We waited for it on Divas. We're getting it now. And they did mention a couple episodes ago, we are considering marriages. However, they don't know for sure if they're going to get split up or not. And she seems genuinely concerned, doesn't she?
Yeah.
You guys aren't thinking she had pre-info, like she was fine, this was an act.
No,
I bought it.
I thought she was being legit.
Yeah, I think the draft is one of those things where it's like we talked about last week. Like, there's certain things where it's just like completely shot put manufactured, and there's some things where it's just like you introduce a situation where real emotions get to play off of that situation. And I think that the draft is definitely a thing that you can introduce into the show and have people super nervous about it, because the stuff that they are actually probably super nervous about is probably the stuff that doesn't actually play on the reality show, where it's a majority not WWE fan, like am I gonna like get buried, am I not gonna get over, am I not gonna get TV time, am I gonna get too much TV time, like that sort of stuff. But I think that everyone was generally like nervous and worried about it. The only shot put from the draft drama that I experienced was Natalya at one point a few episodes ago was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what life's gonna be like. And she was like, she's the only, like, her and the Billows like the only people on the roster who were around for the last draft. So it's like, if anyone knows what it's gonna be like.
We're not buying it, Natty. We didn't get a whole lot of her this time.
I thought Naomi's concern could have been because she wasn't in like a high class storyline at the time, and neither were the Usos.
Right.
So it's not like, well, they're not going to split us up because I'm doing this on TV and they're doing that on TV. It was like we're both in a gray like holding pattern where they don't know what they're doing with us. So it could be easy for them to be like, you're going to go here so we could try this out, and they're going to stay there.
Also, there was like so much backstage scuttlebutt about like this was like a real like rumor slash possibility at one point, is that like Raw is going to have the women and SmackDown was going to have the tag teams.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
That was like a real thing that could have happened. So
That's true. That was heavily reported by those dirt sheets, which I love so much. Well, they also had a bunch of chatter about Nikki Bella and when she was going to be cleared, if she was going to be part of the draft. And we, of course, know from watching that draft that she wasn't a part of it. But we watch her get a CAT scan with Dr. Uribe. Megan had some really interesting comments. She gave us kind of a first-hand perspective of what it's like to have a CAT scan. So make sure you go back to, I believe it was last week's episode, and check that out. Shout out to Megan. She will be back when we return for the new season. I can't remember what she's doing tonight, but it's probably a fabulous red carpet. So Nikki gets this CAT scan. She meets with Dr. Uribe, and this has got to be one of the most difficult days of someone like her's life, right?
And
After
she was all by
gone through.
herself. I was like, of all the things that she's gone to with somebody, why is today the day she's all alone? And even the doctor mentioned that. Oh, you're all alone today? No mom? Like,
Didn't that make you guys scared? Did you
Yeah.
think that that was an indicator of like,
oh, we're going to give you
whoa.
bad news, so someone should be here to console you.
Yeah.
why don't you come back later when you have someone?
Bring mom, the brother, John.
It really doesn't matter. The
Send out
dog.
a tweet
Everybody.
and get a fan over here so that they could drive you home.
Well, he does eventually give her the good news. She is cleared, and she still has to get officially cleared by WWE, but essentially that's what they sent her to Dr. Uribe for. And now she's wondering, Team Red or Team Blue? I wanted her on Team Blue just for that.
Well, yeah.
Just
You're
for
biased.
SmackDown.
Just FYI, this is true.
Favoritism.
Well, DNA have arrived in Toronto, and Renee is a little concerned about Dean's hygiene, his look. He looked like he had just
He looked
like
exactly
he had a
the
match
same.
last night and he didn't wash his hair. Maybe not a big deal. Do you guys get this from your wives ever? Like when you're going out,
never
or if
get
the
told to
family's
wash my
coming
hair,
over?
Yeah, no one really has to tell me to
Take a shower?
get
no, it
showered
kinda just
before I leave.
happens.
If I'm staying at home all day, like, I don't know.
You guys are kind of getting out of it with these gorgeous bald heads. What about
Yeah.
the beards? Do you get like a trim that up? I mean,
Oh,
I
course.
get that.
yeah. Okay, there. That's
Oh, does she tell me to?
Yeah.
No, which is amazing. I apologize. Like when it gets out of hand. Like I apologized like twice before I trimmed it this last time. I was like, I'm really sorry. I've been sick for a month. It's inexcusable. And she's like, yeah, it's a little out of hand. But she would never like come up to me and be like, yeah, straight.
like shave your face. Yeah, I try really hard not to be that wife.
Well, she would
Once,
never
who
tell me to
wants
shave my face because we've been
Oh,
down
she
that
likes the
road
beard.
before.
Oh.
I mean, with the no hair and the no, I look like
You look like,
Eggman.
I was like, you look like
Too
Lex
Mr. Clean.
Luthor.
Yeah, I just look like a fat egg. Dr. Robotnik or whatever.
Well, I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, well, you'll never know unless
will never know.
unless it's what happened last time and I screw up while
Oh, and you
trimming
just
my
got to
beard.
start it all
Yeah.
over? Yeah, that's always not fun.
Well, Dean's mom doesn't really seem to care, and I don't know that she would
She was so
notice
awesome.
with how thick he was laying it on.
Oh, he was laying it on thick.
Renee had told him earlier in the episode that like you're not as charming as you think. Oh no,
I beg to
he
differ.
was pretty charming. Agreed.
I loved it.
Especially because like it turns out that Renee's mom is like on the exact same wavelength as
Oh,
Dean
yeah.
Ambrose. Like, let's joke around and fart and do shots. Like, cool, let's do it.
Yes.
And you would think Renee would know that about her own mom. Like, oh yeah, you're a lot like my boyfriend.
Well, and by all accounts, Renee is really more like her mom than she was being in this episode.
Well, that makes sense because she's with Dean.
Right. Yeah, we got you. We see you, Renee. We see you. We
You can't pull the wool over our eyes.
No. I know a fellow fun girl when I see one. Well, Lana's a fun girl too, and she wants a big old fun flower arch, and it'll only cost you, honey, Rusev. It'll only cost you $10K.
For an hour.
For
45
1
minutes
hour.
to an hour.
Well, you do get to keep those flowers. I mean, Rusev
Do
was
you, though?
pointing out like it's a 45-minute ceremony. Like,
Oh, see, I didn't
it's
get-
not
I
like
thought-
it's not renting the flowers.
Okay,
It's
I
just-
really
I thought it was
was
renting the
No,
arch with
no,
the
no.
flowers.
Because, like, literally, that may sound silly, but in a place like LA on a
Right.
Saturday, there probably are 20 weddings within the same vicinity that want a flower arch, and you can probably take it over here at
But
noon and over here at 3.
But
Like,
man.
we saw the flower arch, and it's not 10K for like renting that flower arch, and then they take it to another
Oh,
wedding.
Those flowers
I
are
hope
whack.
not. It was hideous.
Too
but
many-
she...
It was fine.
Too many colors.
too many colors. She didn't know it coming at this point, but what she does get is a video from Maurice on how they treat the elephants. So it seemed like Maurice was genuinely into that.
And
yeah,
then she
really...
challenged Rusev to a race
Yeah.
for the right to get a flower arch, and she won. And Rusev tried to play off like he got caught in the pool cleaner.
Yeah,
His face
not
when she
buying
was
it.
upset because she was like watching the videos. He's like, "Are you mad at me?" No. Okay.
It was almost like someone told him he couldn't go see Mind Freak.
Yeah. Chris Angel.
Love it.
Mind Freak?
Mind freak.
What did you guys think of Maurice telling The Miz that she wouldn't even go to the wedding if they had the elephants there? Is that a stand that you guys would take, or you think that's too much?
I'm cool with it. Like I'm always cool with people having principles and standing up for what they believe in. Like I'm cool with it, and I think Miz was cool with it, and he is a great husband. So he was like, "All right, whatever you need to do. Cool. You look great."
As per usual.
Sometimes it's not all about you, and you need to just put some things aside. But I'm not trying to compromise anyone's beliefs or make them like. I wouldn't want them to come to my wedding if she's gonna feel awkward the entire time that there are live animals there and be walking around like, "Do you know what they do to these elephants?"
Right.
Yeah.
That'll ruin my wedding. Then don't come.
For sure.
But if I mean so much to you, you could put that to the side and put on a happy face for me for one day.
Right, like, is it more important for you to not miss your good friend's wedding, or is this cause more important? You just have to ask yourself that, I guess.
Maurice and Lana don't know each other that well.
That's true, and they're
Or be
getting
like,
to
you know
each
what,
other.
honey, are there going to be elephants at the Bulgarian wedding?
Yeah.
Well, I'll go to that one then.
We'll see. Maybe, hopefully, we'll see. who
They're
goes to that
probably
one.
way easier to get out there. They're just
Right?
mobbing around.
Oh yeah, those
Yeah,
notorious Eastern European elephants.
Of course. That's why he loves them so much.
Just like we have back home.
Andrew Bartles in the chat says 10,000 for a flower arch is crazy.
10,000, that was like
Weddings
the
are-
budget of my wedding.
Weddings are crazy expensive, y'all.
Yeah.
Especially when you're getting married on the beach in Malibu.
Ridiculous.
You need a
Weddings
permit for that.
need a
hello.
permit.
Weddings
for
are
that.
super expensive, and if they know that you have any amount of money at all,
They're
it
gonna
costs.
milk you.
So if they're like, oh, 2 WWE people, yeah,
Oh wait, you're gonna want a
that is a
production crew there?
$10,000
Oh yeah, that's gonna cost you.
Oh, I love it.
You
Even-
probably had to
if-
rent. You probably had to get the permits to actually like have
yeah.
the wedding on the beach, and then
Yeah.
you probably had to get the permits to film.
I'm
on the
sure.
beach as
Oh,
well.
yeah. Yeah.
But the
So-
permit to having the wedding on the beach is going to be more expensive than the permit to film there.
No, but still,
Yeah.
because I remember I did a not a shotgun wedding, but a running gun. Like
You,
you're gonna film my
You
wedding.
You
Yeah,
filmed
you're
had a
gonna film
shotgun
my
wedding, Jim,
wedding
we get
at this beach in Malibu. By the way, we didn't get the permits, so we're just gonna
Yeah.
zing it, and hopefully police or
like
Coast
that.
Guards
I
don't
like
come
that.
bother
Guerrilla
us.
You
wedding
went
photography.
so you went a little rogue guerrilla style. Kind of like what Dean does when the family goes out to
Nice
lunch.
segue.
A passerby grabs, right? Thank you. Passerby grabs Renee's hat straight off her head, and Dean responds in a very Dean Ambrose way.
Yeah, he throws a fork, breaks 4 glasses, and then runs after him.
Jumps the rail.
Hops the guardrail,
Yeah, dude.
knocks a tree over.
I was very pleasantly surprised that was what the impetus was
Caused
for
it?
this.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they stole her hat. Like, we were all speculating, like, what's it going to be with? And you had, I think it was you that had a good guess of like someone just took their picture or
Yeah, I
something.
thought someone was gonna be like, "Hey, I'm a fan. Can I get a picture?" And they're like, "Oh, not now." And then awkwardly was just like,
Yeah. And I was totally prepared to call shot put on this because it seemed
We need a button for that.
it seemed so dumb and like such a like unnecessary reaction to what had caused it. But the fact that they blurred the faces of the people that did this indicates that these people did not give permission for their likenesses to be used, which indicates that it might be the most real thing that's ever happened on Total Divas.
Right?
Because that guy who like
karate kicked.
jump kicked, spin kicked Tamina that one time, it's
You
like,
want me to spin kick you right now?
yeah,
What
That's
were
still
you
one of my
thinking?
favorite
yeah,
moments.
no, I loved it. But I mean, that like, clearly that guy's like face was, you know,
The funniest thing is when people do sign their release and they blur their faces anyway.
Yes. Well, I mean, I think because someone could still probably, you disparaged me.
Like the dude
whatever.
whose balls was hanging out a couple episodes ago.
Oh, yes. At the pool. At the pool. Courtney in the chat poses a really interesting question. She said, do you guys think Dean and Renee will get married?
yeah.
Season
You
5.
think so?
Wait, what season are we on
This
right
is
now?
6.
This is 6?
Yeah.
They're gonna go back in time.
They'll get their spin-off show where it's Dean, Renee, Rusev, and Lana.
Oh, yes.
Power couples.
Sign me up.
Maybe they'll get engaged on this season finale when it comes back.
When it comes back.
I I would watch a standalone show from any of these couples.
Oh yeah,
I would watch the Ms. Maurice show.
Oh, yeah.
I would watch the Rusev Lana show for sure. I've
Yes.
campaigned for that before. I would watch the Dean Renee show. I would watch the Naomi John show.
Oh,
They're so great.
And they would all be so different.
Yeah.
They would have such a different flavor.
This sounds like
And we will
network
watch. Are you
stuff.
hearing us? We
Yeah.
will watch every single one.
And I would watch a Natty TJ show, but just for TJ.
Yeah, and they'd have to spill the drums.
Yeah.
We'd want to know what the heck went down with all of that. All of that. Well,
You know,
Nikki-
think of it. Natalya works best on this show because everyone else gets to play off her. Mm-hmm. So
we didn't see her a whole lot this season. We'll see her in a bit at the wedding. But Nikki has been out for almost an entire year, and she heads to the performance center. She runs the ropes. She takes some bumps. How did you guys think she looked?
She definitely had a ring rust,
Yeah.
but she had a beautiful denim choker on. That was very lovely.
she was
that's really cute.
very out of practice, stumbly, and she pointed out very astutely that there's a huge difference between being in shape and being in ring shape. Because there's so many wrestlers that are in amazing ring condition that you would never expect. But they could just they could wrestle a 60-minute match every night, like Eddie Kingston or Kevin
There
Owens.
you go. What a pull, Eddie Kingston.
Like
Google him and
Kevin-
look at what he looks like.
Or like Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
I basically look like Kevin Owens, but I couldn't do what Kevin Owens does. I'm not in ring shape to do that. And that dude wrestles like every night, like long matches at live events and stuff. Like,
Yeah, dude.
he's a horse.
And he's been doing it for over a decade.
Yeah.
Let's take a trip to the Calamigos Ranch in Malibu, California.
I would love to go
Bellas
here.
have arrived. It was a beautiful, beautiful place. And Rusev has a surprise for Lana. A surprise for Lana. Oh, wait a minute. He rented himself a Lamborghini.
Now, I thought he bought it until he was like, I rented this
Right.
for us. Because
For
when
our
he's
special
like,
day.
what kind of gift? I gotta get myself a gift. I'm the groom. I was like, he just bought a Lambo?
I was. It seemed
He's not making Roman Reigns
flashy
money.
for him.
Yeah.
Like, were you guys surprised that
No,
he
because-
chose something so flashy?
Remember when the first time we met Lana's parents, he drove them around in that it was a Maserati.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is kind of a European
So he's
thing,
he's
isn't
a
it? The,
he's
the
a
fancy cars.
Yeah, he's a luxury car supercar guy.
Lana, that's not the only concern she has. Now, let's not forget we're 24 hours away from getting married here. And she tells Nikki that they're arguing over what's going to be their anniversary date, which wedding, over whether Lana is going to change her last name. I would have really liked to see some of that discord and some of those arguments go down if, in fact, those were things that they really were discussing. So where would you guys stand on this? Like the anniversary thing, it sounded like Rusev was kind of looking at the Malibu wedding as a bit of a joke. And once we saw it, it didn't look like a joke, but it had a very fun. I mean, I get it that he was looking at Bulgaria as the real wedding.
I would look at it as the Malibu wedding was the wedding rehearsal. Kind of how there's
Yeah.
the dress rehearsal. Though that was the wedding rehearsal for the real wedding that is going to happen in Bulgaria. It was fun.
yeah. Go ahead.
It was fun. Everyone had the circus theme she wanted. This is like everything to keep her happy so that he could get what he wants.
Happy wife, so he can get his happy life.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, just my brain works logically, so I would say no, I'm just saying I would like they were talking about whichever wedding came with the marriage license. I would say is the wedding day, and failing that, this is the first time they got married, so I'd say that this would be their
Kind of a
anniversary.
big deal.
So you and your wife were together for
Yeah.
years before you got married. What anniversary do you
yeah.
celebrate?
So
Is it your wedding one?
So yeah, we always it was always October 19th, but then we got married on January 18th. So now we made an agreement to have January 18th be our anniversary, but we still tell each other happy anniversary on October 19th.
See,
like that.
we got married October 7th, but our anniversary is February 19th. So we're just like, no, our anniversary is February 19th.
Yeah.
It's like, happy wedding. Next year on the 7th we'll celebrate, but
Yeah.
it's like, no. Like, we'll be together 9 years in February. That's our anniversary.
I just waited many years for my anniversary to be on a Saturday so that I could get married on our like dating anniversary. So it's just the same. It's the same. It took 7 years.
One
but
stone.
Yep, done.
Bam.
Although now
Handled.
it's March 31st, and now I'm like, oh, it will always be WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Is it really? True, it is.
My wife's birthday is March 26th, and she's bummed that I have to leave every
Mrs.
year.
Hanstock. Oh.
No, Mrs. Ray.
I was just gonna say, what about the name changing? Where do you guys land on that stuff?
And I've always felt this way, if I wasn't the last male United States Hanstock that I'm aware of,
oh, cool.
I would take her name. But
I like that. I respect that.
I'm sort of like
You're the last of a dying breed.
yeah, exactly. I'm sort of paying tribute to my dad by keeping my name, but like otherwise, like if it wasn't like the fact that I have such a rare last name, and I also have a tattoo for the Hanstock family crest, I would definitely take her name, like absolutely, like no question.
Just because it's you like it better, or she would have liked that, or what would be your motivation?
Just because I'm super anti-masculinity and like super like feminist and like very like, or I like to think of myself as an intersectional feminist, but I'm just like super anti-patriarchy, super anti like anything that has to do with like masculinity. I'm like really opposed to. So that's just that.
Yeah,
was
let's
But you
all
love
take your
wrestling.
wife's last name.
yeah, I love wrestling, but I mean, I consider that to be a flaw in my personality.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If my wife wasn't a lawyer and didn't have to redo paperwork, she was going to keep her last name, but she realized from having to redo paperwork from people who either did or didn't, she was like, no, I'm taking your name. I wasn't like, no, you're going to take my name. But she knew she would have to spell it either way because her maiden name was Thiele, Thiele, and my last name is Franck, Franck. So, like, she's like, I'm going to have to spell my last name regardless, so I might as well take yours. Save the paperwork.
Shout out, Shannon.
Yeah.
Well, our unmarried couple of Renee and Dean. Renee thinks it's maybe time to apologize. She had a little chat with her mom while they were shopping, and mom kind of set her straight.
Mom kept it real.
She did. She offered good advice, I thought.
Yeah, she held it down.
She did.
Because there's nothing worse than meeting someone who's like overly fake to you to get your approval, and then when you realize the real them, you're just like, ah, this person's a dick.
Oh wait, are we seriously not going to talk about Renee's mom's weird foot?
What was that?
If
Was
you
that
guys would like to
surgery,
discuss
or-
Renee's mom's
I
weird
think
foot,
she
then
had
by all
had
means.
surgery on
but
her
they took
foot?
turns
She said she
squeezing
broke
it.
it at the beach or something.
Yeah, but there's like a big scar on the side that looks like they like
Definitely had to
some
put a
pins
plate
in
in
it.
there.
Like surgery after the breakage. Oh, well, Renee apologizes to Dean and gets a German suplex, as we all do when we apologize to
how
our
often are you
spouses.
ever going to hear someone say, don't German me?
Right?
My favorite parts on Total Divas are like the super genuine parts, and like her like just scratching his back while she was talking to him is one of those like that's a like true like ride or die couples thing. Like that's there's nothing fake about that. Like this is what they do. When
I
they're
listen better when you scratch. And she's like, oh, damn it.
You know, but talking about him being himself with the family, I wouldn't put it past him to like put on a full suit and like just act silly about it. I'm kind of surprised actually now that I think about it, that he doesn't do that. But it's a good thing he didn't, because Renee is actually pretty skilled with those nunchucks. And he
That
better
was so
watch out
awesome.
who he's suplexing.
I love how she was like, you brought your nunchucks with you? Like, he travels with these things.
Oh, for sure.
That's amazing.
That's his personal security.
Yeah, I can't wait to bring it up if I ever meet Dean and be like, so tell me about these nunchucks.
Nunchucks, right? Have you guys ever tried the nunchucking?
I got
It's
nunchuck
very
skills.
tricky.
It's super tricky. My dad made me styrofoam ones when I was a kid.
Nice.
Because I wanted to be like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Aw.
right?
You're a
Amazing.
Michelangelo girl?
I don't even remember.
He's
I
the
was
one with the
all about
nunchucks.
about April. April was my girl.
Oh, that makes
sense.
Yeah.
Until you know who ruined that. What's her name? Megan Fox. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry.
You'd be a great April O'Neil.
I agree. I agree. Let's talk about the rehearsal dinner and about
Those are a
Daniel
scam.
Bryan freaking out. Jimbo, rehearsal dinners are a scam. Who did you hear that from?
So when I was getting married, X-Pac was preaching to me about how big of a scam these rehearsal dinners were. And he's like, if you need to rehearse, what do you need to rehearse? Come on, Jimbo. And he just hits you. Come on, Jimbo. And I was like, oh man, he's serious about this.
Okay, there are rehearsal dinners that are a scam.
For sure.
I agree. There's everything. Like, there's so many hidden things in a wedding that could be a scam.
You
but
want
like,
us to fill the venue with bees? It's going to cost $500 to get rid of those bees.
Anytime you like get a venue, like the rehearsal is going to be like usually folded into that venue cost.
Depending on where you are.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
But usually, like they want the venue like wants you to know what you're doing the day of, so that you're not like going over your time or like anything. So usually the rehearsal's included, and then like you got family coming in a day early. Why not have a nice dinner for everybody or a lunch? We did a lunch.
That's nice.
The chat room wants to know if X-Pac still has nunchucks. We will ask him.
Yeah.
We'll keep you posted on that one.
I
That was
forgot
like a nunchuck room.
He had them against Steve Blackman.
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, wait a minute. Oh, yeah.
Were you guys surprised to hear Daniel Bryan being so traditional
No,
and
not at all.
insistent that they not spend the night
I was
together?
pumped on that.
Yeah.
Because that's something super huge. You do want to wait to see them come down the aisle in the dress, and it's just that moment. I remember seeing my wife for the rehearsal dinner when we showed up to the venue to rehearse, and she just had like a white, whatever, we're getting married tomorrow dress. And I was like, wow, she looks beautiful in that. I can't imagine what she's going to look like tomorrow. Like, legit was just like, oh, God.
And she was gorgeous, and I think we maybe
Oh,
have
yeah.
time to
We
take a look at some
we'll
pics
look at those.
later. Natty points out when they're all sitting there that this is could be the last time that they're all together, and that kind of makes it sink into me. It's like, well, yeah, we know now that they all sort of ended up on the same brand for the most part, but they didn't know that at this point. And how scary that really is, especially for someone like Natty, who she always had TJ on the road with her, and now she doesn't. She kind of she probably feels like she needs these girls.
Why wasn't TJ there at all?
Oh, that's a good. Did they just not show him? He
This
had
was
to
6
have been
months ago.
there.
He met it. Yeah.
You think he was maybe still recovering? Let's do some investigation. They always post photos and stuff. We'll go back and see
Yeah, he definitely could have been there, just not.
that they just didn't show him. Yeah. Ooh, that's a good question. We will look into that. Well, we also learned that the elephants are not happening because Marie sends Lana some in a bag. This was really nice, I
Yeah, it
think.
was
Super
nice.
cute.
Yeah, and maybe necessary. You know, Maurice was super adamant about it, and then I think this was a good gesture to be like, hey,
For sure.
you know, it's your
Here's
wedding
some
day, and now it's
elephants.
cool. Yeah, right? Okay. Lana finally gets herself down the aisle. They tried to create some, oh no, is she coming? I don't know. But it seemed like everything was fine. They knew where she was. She wasn't far away. And she walks out and sees this beautiful flower arches, right? Wasn't there kind of
She
like...
said it. Yeah, there were more than one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she said it was the one she wanted, so that's all that matters.
Yeah. Beauty
That's
is in
true.
the eye of the beholder.
And I guess it was very circus-y, just not what I was expecting. I think you picture like light pink and white
Yeah.
and...
Especially
It's
for
very-
a beach wedding.
It was very wildflowery,
Yeah.
which I think does fit with the beach wedding, but whatever.
AJ0314 in the chat said TJ would have been in all of Natty's pics if he was, and she didn't see him there. So, interesting.
He could have been. He very much could have been like doing rehab that week, or
He was the clown.
Or maybe just
Remember, they were
wasn't
like,
allowed
"Oh,
to
take
travel.
pictures with the clown."
yeah.
He's all in
yeah. He
clown
could have
makeup.
been restricted.
Restricted from traveling.
I'm sure that once you almost die from a neck injury, they don't want you to fly for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nikki
might
couldn't
be
travel
that.
for like almost 6 months,
might
so
be
that would make
something.
sense. Let's talk about these vows.
They were so funny.
They were so
I
good.
love
So,
Russos so much.
Rusev vows. He says, you know, you got to find someone who doesn't annoy you as much as everyone else does. And yeah, you talk my ear off, but I'd rather listen to you than to anyone else. I mean, how sweet.
Yeah.
How
It's so
sweet is
genuine,
that?
like,
yeah.
Not. Oh, what are the cliche things that people always say in wedding vows? Let's write
Oh,
that
I don't
down.
know. 1 Corinthians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was I was so bummed out because like, well, I mean, like it was nice and pretty and fun and cute, but it's like Rusev's vows were so great and so Rusev. I'm sorry, handsome Rusev. They're so great, and then Lana's like, I'm always reminded of 1 Corinthians, and I was like, oh brother.
It's probably because her parents
Probably because she's
beat that in her. Like,
Yeah.
this is what you say.
the daughter of a preacher. Yeah.
You talk about the Bible at your
The
wedding.
son of a preach man.
She also reveals that she's taking his last name, which her dad immediately screws up.
Oh, that was so good.
So it's Barnysev. Barnyashev. Do you guys want to take a crack at it? Barnysev.
He said
Bill's not even gonna try?
Barney.
Yeah, but it's more fun if we try.
Barney.
It
All right, well, we can't do it either, Daddy Lana, so it's fine.
I it's a bummer that they've been together that long, and her dad has no idea how to pronounce his last name. Like
he probably thought that he didn't have a last name for you. She was like, he's
Rusev.
His name's Alexander Rusev.
Right?
His last name is Rusev.
Over his thigh.
Yeah. Like that is also one of my like huge pet peeves is like when someone can't trouble themselves to learn how to say someone else's name. Like when someone like calls, like when you hear like a telemarketer or like an operator or something, be like, Mr. I'm not even gonna try. Like that's I've worked at call centers, so I've heard that before. And like that's like it infuriates me so much because it's like the very least you can do for another human being is try to figure out how their name is pronounced because it's literally their name. Like how dehumanizing can you get? Anyway, sorry.
Sure.
That's the last of my rants.
When my buddy Jason got married, his last name is Tepstein, and the guy was like, Mr. and Mrs. Tepstein, and we're all like, haha, and they laugh about it now, but I'm sure at the moment they're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then when Rusev like calls out the dad, he's like, just so you know, the DJ was able to pronounce it perfectly.
That was great.
Take some notes.
While they're laughing about that, Nikki is not smiling. She gets an email telling her that she will not be part of the draft. Why do you guys think that would be? Is it because she didn't have a storyline going? They maybe didn't think she was quite ready yet based on the Performance Center? If you had to speculate, what do you think?
That's exactly what Brie and Brian said. Like,
Yeah.
you're clearly not, like, you just started back in the ring. Like, we wanted to ease you into this. Like, we're not going to put you on the road.
See,
right away.
I agree with that, but I think WWE could have gotten a huge reaction had her face popped on the screen and it was like, guess who's drafted to Raw? Because then everyone would have known she was coming back.
But they got
that
big reaction anyway when she made the surprise return at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, and probably, is it better to get it on a pay-per-view?
I think maybe someone like
think
Nikki
so?
is more deserving of that singular attention, I guess, now that we say it. But she goes back to the trading center, to the Performance Center, trains some more. She says no one can stop her. And you know what, Nikki? I believe you. Because we're
Just like the theme song.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna stop me now. We get kind of a little update from all the ladies at the end of this, and we see, like, Eva Marie, where's she been? Well, she doesn't know if she'll be drafted or not. Paige says she has no idea if she'll wrestle again. She's scared. And Naomi questions whether she could even do this job and live this life without John. So, a lot of things up in the air as we wrap up this mid-season
You know what it ended with, though?
What's that?
With what I called. It ended with Brie being like, oh my God, Brian! As she's looking at her stick that she just peed on, which is going to be like, you're pregnant.
You
Which is
totally
totally
called
where
it.
I called that.
You call that.
Yeah, usually it's not, oh my God, Brian, we're not pregnant.
Yeah.
Come in here, we're not pregnant. Yeah.
Do you guys have anything you'd like to add about this episode?
I thought it was really good. Nice, tie a little bow in it.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the best of the season.
A bunch of Lana and Rusev, nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
Well, we've gotten some majorly frustrating cliffhangers in the past, like ones that just kind of went like, "Urgh," like Nikki and Brie
Like you thought
in the
it
room
was gonna.
with Carano.
You thought it was gonna
and-
end when she got the email.
Yeah,
and we weren't even gonna know what the
find
email
out.
was
Yes.
about.
So I appreciated that not happening, and I'm gonna watch regardless anyway. So maybe we'll get to some predictions on the rest of the season. But first, let's do a little news and gossip.
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
Sorry, Neil. We came out of nowhere with that one. Well, Cara Maria, who, if you've never heard of, I don't blame you. She's from MTV's The Challenge. And she challenged the ladies of the WWE on Twitter. She posted something like, why do all the WWE women dress and act like strippers? Try something new. Well, Paige, of course, saw this because she ain't doing too much else now but trolling Twitter. And she kind of sparked her war with this girl and went at her and then said, oh, you know, I'm making a tool relevant. So, you know, Paige is involved in a Twitter war, which is the least of terrible things she's done in the last year or so.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, Nikki Bella gave an interview, and this is just fun. She elaborated on that whole mutton busting thing. Remember, she said this was part of an annual rodeo in Brawley, California, where they grew up. They were in 2nd grade when they did it, and Nikki beat all the girls and all the boys.
Nice.
She was the champion mutton buster.
Yeah, they recently did a video where they went back to Brawley. On
Yes.
their
Yeah, well, speaking of their YouTube channel, where you can see that video, they also started a new series on there called Bella Brains, where Daniel Bryan gives them a word, and they both have to say, what does it mean, put it in a sentence, and spell it. So
good.
you can bet I'm going to
Wow.
be checking that for some Bella blunders.
Yeah.
Awful.
And John Cena got another big hosting gig. We saw him going up on stage at the ESPYs last episode, but he will be hosting the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards on March 11th. And Naomi finally made her SmackDown return this Tuesday. She had been out with an injury since like October, I believe. It was an ankle injury. And she immediately entered the title picture, challenging Alexa Bliss. So keep your eyes on that. And this Sunday on the WWE Network, you can catch the Royal Rumble, which is one of their most popular pay-per-views. And our ladies are going to be in a match. It'll be Becky Lynch, Naomi, Trinity, and Nikki Bella versus Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, the returning Mickie James, and Natalya. So make sure you tune into that. And now let's do our final, our mid-season finale to Total Throwback. And I think this is a good one. It's a good one for you boys. Now, there's a very memorable scene between Rosa and Paige, where Rosa has a little crush, and she finally goes for it and gives Paige a kiss.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys remember this scene quite well. Do you remember who Rosa told to, quote, wait 2 seconds? While she just finally went for it and laid that smooch on Paige. Someone gets told, oh, just wait 2 seconds. I got some business to take care of with this girl. So I wanted to pick a really obscure one for Ann because you guys are both so good at this. If you remember the scene, they had been out, I think, to dinner or something, and they land back at where...
Was it Alicia Fox?
Was it Alicia Fox?
Was it Alicia Fox?
I can't remember, so I'm just gonna guess Eva Marie.
I was gonna say either Alicia
How about
Fox
if
or
I
Natty.
tell you guys, not a cast member,
Okay.
not someone from Total Divas, just someone who happens to be there offering up a service.
Fandango.
No, think
Mark
more...
Carano?
No one who's in WWE
A
at all.
waiter.
Someone we don't even know. You're getting closer.
The
Bartender.
driver?
The taxi
the
driver.
taxi driver.
Oh, I finally kind of
Shout
got
out
you
Robert
guys.
De Niro.
Finally
that's a
kind
good-
of
that's
got
very-
you guys. You guys are too good at this.
very
Oh,
specific.
oh, I got the chat roll too, except for Yakita and Nicole. But everybody said
Yakita
Natty.
Nicole.
Oh, thank you, MX Jane A. That this was a good one. This was a good one. Thank you, and
Good
you're
job,
welcome.
Christy.
Very tricky.
All right. Well, since we have a teeny
tricky.
bit of time, let's talk about what we think is going to go down in the second half of season 6. Let's do our predictions. Yes.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I think Brie Bella's going to be pregnant, guys. I'm pretty sure.
Very solid. That's a lock.
I'd say
Lock it in.
that's-
What else do you think we're going to see?
Okay, first I have a question. Is this the farthest behind we've ever been? Like, because it's a steady 6 months.
Yes.
It is. Okay.
Yeah. Now that you pointed out, I believe so.
Because that's a long gap between like. Because there was a lot this season where it's like, well, what's gonna happen? And we're like,
We already know.
everything worked
time to
out,
get
guys.
caught up.
Yeah. Prediction. Nikki comes back while Paige gets injured and put on the shelf. Everyone adapts to their life on the separate brands. But my hope for this second half of the season, which I don't think they will do, I really, really, really want them to cover the suspensions.
Yes.
Because Eva Marie got 1 and Paige got 2. And that's a huge thing. And that's like tailor-made for reality show drama. I don't think that WWE is willing to dive into
I've been
those
wondering about that. And
storylines.
really with everything with Paige.
Yeah, I don't. But I mean, they approached the Alberto Del Rio stuff and how weird her friends have reacted to it, which is good. But I don't see WWE being willing to cover the suspensions in depth, and I think that that's a shame because it happened and everyone knows it happened, and it's such good TV, and oh my God, what virgin territory for a reality show. For reality shows that have been around as long as they have, and no one to ever be like, hey, here's a reality show about people that we were already covering, and they got suspended from their jobs because of...
Here's their real reality.
Yeah, like, that's legit. Like, that's something that everyone would watch.
And who's, like, happy on the inside of, like, hell yeah, I needed some time off. I'm just going to go home and relax.
And
who's
everyone
like,
else's
what the
reaction
hell?
to it.
What the hell? I have a prescription for this. I should still be on the road.
Because that's what happened.
Especially with Eva and Jonathan, because not only do they have, like, what they feel is a legitimate grievance with their
Right,
drug
she said she just didn't get her prescription in on time.
Right, but they also, like, at the time that she got suspended, they're launching his supplement line. They're launching her clothing line. She gets the role in the Nicolas Cage movie. So it's like all this stuff happens at the time of her suspension, and there's just so much story there. And I just fear that they're going to be like, I got a role in a Nick Cage movie, so I'm taking some time off from WWE to do that. Like,
yeah,
but they have to address it in some capacity, because Eva's suspension is what opened the door for Nikki's comeback at SummerSlam.
That's true.
So I think that my prediction is they will not cover the suspensions more than a passing reference, and they will explain away Eva's going away as part of her heel storyline / getting
the way
the role
that they
in the
did
movie.
it on WWE TV.
Yeah.
Well, Jimbo, instead of predicting, would you like to show us some photos from your beautiful wedding?
So I've talked about my wedding so much on this season and on other shows. So there is my lovely wife with her championship belt after we got married.
The Winged Eagle.
Yes, have to go with the Winged Eagle title
She
for
was
sure.
so gorgeous.
And then on to the next one. If you blow it up, Command Plus. There we go. So that's our sweetheart Daniel Bryan table
That's great.
with the two of us.
Does your wife watch wrestling?
She does because
Now.
of me.
all the tables were themed. I
All
was
the
at the
tables,
Kevin Owens
yeah, she was at the
table.
Kevin Owens table.
With the giant figure? Or with
No,
the,
that was the big. Those are our cake toppers I made myself out of action figures. And then I think is that there might. This is us walking down the aisle getting yes chants. So
Yeah.
we had a lovely wrestling kind of wedding.
It was beautiful,
enough.
and it was
Christy
so
was
much
there.
fun, and it was so Jimbo, and I think everyone there was just so happy to be like, oh, you must have found your soulmate if she lets you do this.
I did.
She's
I truly
fantastic.
did.
Well, tell everybody where they can hit you up on social media while we're on this little
While we're on
hiatus.
this break, you can watch so many other good shows here at AfterBuzz TV, including the X-Pac 12360 show featuring myself and Christy Olson. We interviewed Eric Bischoff today. Follow me on Twitter at Jimbo in the Booth.
Was he back and better than ever?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, he was great.
That's great to hear. I want to thank you guys once again for bringing me onto the show in a permanent capacity, and I can't wait until the hiatus is over, because I will be back. I'm back, baby. I'll be in this seat, or that seat, whatever. And I look forward to that. But in the meantime, Sundown Motel on social media. Check out uprocks.com, uprocks.com/sports. Withspandex.com is our pro wrestling site where you can find all of my Total Divas recaps and everything else we cover in the world of wrestling. I am on that Divas beat. I wrote about Nikki's AJ Styles impression today, so
It was good.
it was good. That's where you can find me, and also every Wednesday here at AfterBuzz as part of the NXT After Show.
Awesome. So glad that you've joined us. This is a great panel. Shout out to Megan as well, and Jimbo too.
And Jennifer Leone.
Yes, and Jen, make sure you hit her up too. You guys can always follow me at Christy Reports. I know we're going to be doing some sleuthing in the meantime. What are they filming? What are they doing? Please send me anything and everything you have. And also watch the SmackDown after show right here on AfterBuzz TV at 9 p.m. Pacific time. Yes, that is correct.
And we're also going to try and get some of these Total Divas people to talk to us at WrestleMania.
Yes. Oh, and you know that's going to be good. So make sure you tune in for that. I was just going to plug something else. Oh, Royal Rumble after show. This Sunday at 10 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you there. Chat roll. You guys have been awesome. You're the best. Everyone who reaches out to us on social media, leaves a review, gives us a thumbs up. We have so much fun breaking this show down with you. You're a huge part of it. We love you. Thank you so much. We will see you for the second half of Season 6 Total Divas. Until then, keep in touch. Adios.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.